Hang on. Okay.
Hi, welcome to my kitchen again. Today I'm going to make Don his broccoli cauliflower cheddar soup. Now to start, I thought I had a bag of broccoli and cauliflower in the freezer. I don't, so I'm going to make it out of food storage. This is dehydrated broccoli and cauliflower. It's about a liter jar or a quart jar, whichever you prefer. And now cauliflower, when it grows, is white. This is the color it comes out when you're dehydrating it. But don't panic because it goes back to white. And there's my broccoli. So what I do is...
Come back here with that for a minute. Okay.
So I set that there. And today I'm using turkey stock because I only had a pint jar left of the chicken stock. So that's what's in this pot. I'm going to be canning up chicken stock tomorrow, and boy did that have a seal. Okay, I just pour this in on top of the dehydrated vegetables. And I'm going to leave that sit while I get the rest of the ingredients done.
And there's your cat, of course.
There's food! Hello, Lucky. I think the older he gets, the more insecure he gets, and every time I'm in the kitchen, he thinks he should be fed. So, the other stuff I need is...
Hang on, the phone's ringing.
Is cheddar cheese. Okay, I'm back from the phone. I'm trying to get a walker, and I had to go through government officials. And they're not very official. They forgot to ask me questions. Okay, what I'm going to do is grate the cheddar cheese. And to do this, I go by look a lot, but I'm going to do up about maybe 1.5 cups of the cheese. I pulled some out of the freezer already shredded, and so it was frozen. So you can freeze cheddar as long as you don't want to eat it with crackers. But you can cook with it, you can make pizzas, make dips, put it on nachos. Just don't pull a piece out of the freezer and think it's going to be a wonderful taste treat, because it's not.
Why not?
It changes the texture.
Oh, makes it
frozen.
crumbly?
Yeah, and as it thaws out more, it goes mushy. Okay, I guess that's about 2 cups of cheese. And I'll be putting that into the soup when it's done. This has to sit for about half an hour to get a little bit softer. I'll probably add another pint of soup stock to it, and I'll bring it back when I'm ready to start.
Okay, you're on.
Okay, I'm going to make the roux, which is simply flour and butter to thicken the soup when I start it. So I've got 3 tablespoons of flour. I measured that before, just to let my cameraman know that I did measure it. It can be any amount, just equal amounts of each. And then you put it on the heat till the butter melts, and then you keep stirring it so the flour doesn't burn, but it gets rid of the raw flavor of the flour. You add a little bit of, now I'm not going to add salt this time, but I will add fresh black pepper.
Well, of course. For the anal retentive among us, how much black pepper?
About a little over a teaspoon. I have been told by people that, oh, you use too much pepper. But since most people I cook for is Dawn, I use a lot of pepper.
Hey, I like it.
And doing the roux makes it so that it doesn't go lumpy as easily as just dumping in flour and water to the soup.
But that's a weird name, roux.
I didn't add salt because the cheese is salty. The soup stock has salt in it, and I can always add it closer to the end.
Or you can flavor to taste. Okay, is that almost finished?
Just about. Okay, and I'm going to switch burners. I don't know about anybody else, but I have favorite burners. They just seem to work better for me. So I'll bring this to a boil, and then I'll add the roux, and then let it simmer for about 15 minutes, and then I'll add the cheese, and the recipe calls for...
What about this other soup stock here?
I'm going to see if I need it. That's
okay.
For just in case. The recipe I used originally called for skim milk. And then a friend said that, oh, you can't make soup without half and half. So one time I happened to have half and half, and I used it, and the soup was nice. And then one time I was making the soup and I forgot to add the milk at all. And it was still good. So it really is a no-fail soup. And it's fairly diabetic friendly because this whole pot only has 3 tablespoons of flour. And one nice thing is it can all be made out of storage. Instead of cheddar cheese, I could use cheddar cheese powder or some cheese whiz. And the soup stock, you can buy canned, you can use your own. And the dehydrated vegetables, salt and pepper. And if you use skim milk, you can use skim milk powder in it. As soon as this gets hot, I'll add the roux and it'll be good to go.
And then you boil it for 15 minutes?
No, you simmer it.
Simmer for 15.
About that. Just until all the vegetables are cooked. And then you use a blender. I use a stick blender. And then you can serve it. Or you can put it into containers and put it into the freezer, the fridge. And when you serve it, you can serve it with a roll. But to top it, you sprinkle a little bit of shredded cheddar cheese on top, and it makes it look pretty.
And it tastes good. Okay, so.
I'll be back.
There's the phone again.
I'll be back after I answer the phone. My mother called long distance, so I took time to talk to her. And I found out that I'm going to need a lot more soup stock. But the vegetables are all rehydrated now. So I've opened 3 cans of soup stock, 3 jars of chicken stock. So this is going to be chicken turkey. And I've got the roux. I'm going to add the soup stock to that to heat it up. I'll just bring it to a slight boil. And if you find that it goes a little bit lumpy, you can use a whisk on it, which I think I will do. Now here's a whisk I bought because I thought it was cute, but it's too loose to do anything, so it's kind of a useless gadget for me. If anybody knows what you would use it for, write it in the comments and let me know. This is the one I like. And I'll add the third pint to the vegetables over here.
And mention how kind I was to turn that stuff down when you were on the phone.
Yes. Dawn kind of took over for me.
Yeah.
Well, when it's your mother on the phone, you talk to her.
Not me.
Your mother never calls.
Is this a woman's way of multi-processing?
Yes, multitasking. There. It didn't come to a boil, but it's all incorporated, so. So this pot full is about 2 cups, 2.5 cups of the dehydrated vegetables, 1 quart and 3 pints of chicken and turkey stock. Now I just let it simmer a bit. And
How long is a bit?
about 5 minutes. I'm going to add the cheese now too. You can add it before you blend it or after. I'm going to do it before.
Why?
Because I feel like it today.
Okay.
And that's just a no-name brand cheddar cheese. And like I said, I have used powdered cheddar. And I've used Cheese Whiz. And I think I'll use powdered milk today. And just for Dawn, I will measure. About half a cup. Dawn bought me these jars and they keep things looking very nice. So.
With all the powdered stuff you have, all the dried stuff, it goes in nicely.
Oh yes. One thing I did the other day, my next door neighbor is moving. She's 6.5 months pregnant. She has 3 kids and her husband was there, and the house they're moving out of, there was no water. So they came over to pick up some water out of the hose, and I said, if you're cleaning, come in and get hot water. Then I said, how are you cooking over there? She says, we're not. We're eating at the chip stand. I said, that's 5 people. You're spending a fortune. And she goes, yes. She says, and it's not very good. So I says, okay. Took her down to the basement. I pulled out a jar of my canned hamburger, a jar of my pork and beans, kidney beans, great northern beans, and small white beans that I had done the way, I think it's Cat's Cradle did it, and she cooked them and then dehydrated them. Pulled out some of those, and a can of diced tomatoes, put it into this big pot, and said, there's supper. So then I says, and what are you going to do tomorrow? Are you still going to be here working and going back to the house? And she said, yes. I said, well, hold on. Grabbed a big jar of my turkey with stock in it. Got my small
Crock pot?
crock pot, slow cooker. Added some dehydrated mushrooms, some granulated garlic, dehydrated onions, carrots, celery, a jar of potatoes, and I guess that was it. Put that all together with the stock, with the crock pot, and said, there you go, there's Sunday dinner. So she came back Saturday night and said the kids loved it. She had enough to feed them a midnight snack if they were hungry when they got back to the other house. And I did my good deed. Made me feel good. It helped her out. And it made me realize that you really can make decent meals from what you keep in food storage. So,
And you gave them 2 meals for less than the cost of 2 people eating at the chip stand.
yeah, the chili cost me maybe $7 for the whole mixture. And the turkey soup or turkey stew cost me, I think, $3. So if you want to help somebody out, go to your food storage and have at it. I'll be back when this is ready to be blended down and go to the next step.
Are you turning it off or down?
Turning it up. It has to cook more.
Okay.
But I'll see you in a bit. This is what it looks.
Okay, you can start now.
Okay. This is what it looks like before you use the blender.
Show me the blender.
This is my blender.
Okay.
Handiest contraption. One of the handiest I've got.
And this has been cooking for how long? 15, 20 minutes?
About that, yeah.
And just that slow rolling boil?
Yep.
I
Just
think
enough
that's what you
to-
call it.
Yes, it is. It's just enough to make sure it's heated through and the vegetables are all cooked up. One thing, taste it before you blend it. And if it's too salty, throw in a potato or two.
Oh, I thought you were going to say more chicken stock.
Throw in a potato or two and let the potato cook. And then take the potato out and throw it away or eat it. But it'll absorb the extra salt.
Okay, if you say so. Squeak agrees with you.
My grandmother said so, so it must be true. Actually, I tried it the last time I made the soup and it works. Try to make sure you don't splash yourself, because it is very hot.
Could you do it some other way than using a stick blender?
You can mess up your blender and
Throw it into a food processor or something?
I don't think the food processor would work, but a blender does.
And you're just doing this because it makes it easy for me to eat?
Because it's the only way you'd eat it. I'd leave it without blending it. Because for me, it's the chunks in it that make it taste good. Okay. See, this is how you go about cleaning up a stick blender. You put that over there. You set that in there. You put it in the sink, run hot water over it, and you're done.
Okay.
I haven't done the dishes yet. And there's the soup. And I will show you how to make it look pretty when you serve it. I rarely do it this way since Don gets this soup when he's night shift and is eating at 4 o'clock in the morning. And it doesn't stay good in a heater.
Okay, that's good for me, dear.
You serve it like that. And you sprinkle a little bit of cheddar cheese on top.
And that's my nice, good tasting, expensive soup.
Extremely expensive.
Yep. Okay.
I hope you like it. I hope you find it easy. And I hope your family likes it if you give it a try. Bye for now.